season long, you've been laughed at, crapped on. Now you got a chance to spit it back in their faces. You're out there like a bunch of dead fish, not listening. Bonehead, please.
All right. Here we go. Again, Dolphins surprisingly put up a very good fight, put themselves in position to win the game. But we went crazy and left them 49 seconds and a timeout left, the Chargers, that is. And they proceeded to go down the field, score the easy field goal, and lose the game 29-27, dropping the Dolphins to 1-5 on the season. I'm not really bent out of shape. I thought we would win it, actually. I knew we were going to go down and score. But I kept asking myself, I'm like, are they really going to give up the field goal or a touchdown with 49 seconds? And then Ladd McConkey juked Trader into like the 17th dimension over here. And then Herbert broke the tackle. So here we are, 1-5. This is, anybody left believing that we can kind of get on a run here. This Chargers team, their offensive line is worse than ours, and they played surprisingly sloppy. Harbaugh looked defeated or some weird attitude. Almost like someone had punched half of his soul out. And this team played very sloppy and helped us stay in the game, but we fought back. And I'm going to get into the whole deal, but the season's over. McDaniel will get fired soon. There's no salvation for that. Tua, we'll get into Tua. I know that's a big talk, and he had the pick, but there was also some good stuff. But clearly, as you could see, some of the traits of Herbert allowed him to create more out of less, but he wasn't spectacular. They almost had a stupid pick in the end zone. So he didn't, destroy Tua. I guess, people just look at the thing, 3 interceptions. I actually saw her on the live. They said it wasn't too much Tua's fault when Waddle fumbled it out. That's crazy. It was totally not his fault. The pick, though, that second pick, would I say it's a game definer? No, because you're supposed to be able to stop a team with 49 seconds and one timeout. Wasn't smart. We'll get into all that stuff there. But I know people will focus on Tua. But this clearly, I think Dudley do wrong, but it was a total team loss. Everybody kind of contributed a little bit. Tua did too, but everybody did. And everybody gave a little bit too. I think the only person that gave all positives was H.N. That guy's a stud. All right, so let's get into it. It didn't look good. I mean, we opened up with the big run, and I was very surprised that they were sloppy as they were on defense. And it sort of felt good, but I really wanted to control football. Chargers came back, and they had to control football. I like their designs of their offense better. I think Herbert only had 1 third down of 5 or more. And that showed the macro understanding and better degree of application from the OC over with the Chargers compared to McDaniel, who's, he had some good stuff. There was a couple drives, especially that last drive. He mixed it up real nice. Inside, outside, a bunch of different little screen to Hill. But for the most part of the game, I thought he wasn't good, and he was out-coached. And they ended up being ahead as far as the total time possession and rushes. But we did come back at the end. It's a shame that McDaniel just didn't do some of this stuff. Anyway, so we'll get into it. But it felt like a sort of like a boa constrictor versus the knockout blow. We were definitely putting some stuff on. Tua, I thought, and Waddle had some nice plays aside from Waddle's give up and Achane, but there was a lot of inconsistency. The defense played pretty well up into the second half. But again, this offensive line makes the world go round. I mean, if you're a Tua hater and you love Herbert, you've got to be able to say, all right, well, this offensive line makes a difference. So it was kind of back and forth. We were leading going in, and then we opened up the second half. They score a touchdown. Then Tua throws the pick. And I don't know what he was thinking. Either Achane's supposed to come back to it or keep going. I didn't like the throw. It was maybe late, maybe behind, or Achane didn't drive on it. But you got to give it to Tua. And that was, he had 2 passes, one to Waller and somebody else, which he overthrew. But there was a lot of good plays on the day. And he drove us down for the touchdown to get closer, and then the down to get ahead. I thought he played well enough to win. But our defense is terrible. And you can go look at the stats. But the offensive line of the Chargers is abysmal, and so it uplifts this defense. The defense still gave up 138 yards on 22 carries, 6.3, 38 long. We actually managed 20 carries for 129, 6.5, and 50. So it was sort of balanced, but it was more explosive plays, I think, by us, with a lot of dead stuff, where I thought they were more about just pounding it away inside. But overall, you got that. The defense really didn't, against a terrible front. They managed 11 pressures on Herbert, which is not bad, but considering how bad that offensive line is, we were able to hold back to only 9, but we were bad. Strange 3 pressures. Brewer 1 pressure, 2 critical holds. We were sloppy, so were they. Paul 1, Jonah, he had 2 pressures and another one of those, ole blocks. He's terrible. But really this came down to, you got to give credit. Dolphins came back, fought back. You thought it was over when it was 26-13 or something like that. And we actually got ahead, and it really fell on the defense. Trader is terrible. I thought Weaver, he had a 12 men on the field. He's a little handcuffed. I just don't think he's great. But this defense, you cannot give 3 points up. And then it was the special teams that set it all up. Special teams wasn't good today. They took it out at the 40, and they got one of the best kickers in the league. So I know you want to focus on Tua. You've got to bring it back. He's not going to carry you. But you can see, if you're a big Herbert fan, as I've said, the offensive line holds you back. But overall, it's a bad team. Coaching's not good enough on either side of the ball. And it's over. So what comes next is the biggest piece of the puzzle. McDaniel's going to go. Weaver should go, although you never know what they're going to do. Greer should go, but he's still kind of being protected in the background. It'll be very interesting going forward here. We have the Browns next week. We're vying for a top pick. We got a couple of tougher teams, although the Ravens are looking terrible. We'll see when Lamar gets back. But we're looking at, 4 to 6 wins. Does that put us a little far out on the quarterback? I don't know. We could really pick anything, really, with that top pick and fit a bill for us, because we have so many holes. You just got to get a good player, because we got to get rid of a lot of players we thought were good players, a lot of high-pick players. We got to be traders in the deadline. If Greer's not selling off these pieces, we have till November 4th, so maybe he could wait another week. But then with all luck, some good guys that we probably get something for will get injured. But we got to be sellers here. It's over. I give McDaniel a little bit of credit. He did get his team back, but he's just not good enough. Nothing here is good enough. So that's the deal. I'll break it down for you a little bit more. I don't know if people even really highly interested. But at this stage, really, when you go through it, Waddle, you're going to keep Waddle. If he was making more money, I'd say move on from him, because he's just not consistent enough. And he does have the injury thing. He always seems like he's injured after every hit. But he's cheap. That's a guy you keep. Malik Washington's a guy. Achane is a stud. He's going to cost you a ton. You want to keep him. But these guys burn out quick, and who knows if he'll be ready down the road. Although if we get a smart coach here and a smart GM, Put him out in the receiving department a little bit more. Don't let him take the beatings. He's a guy you got to keep. Ollie's not bad. Brewer, got to get rid of him eventually, although he's a stopgap. JS, I don't know. I think Paul will be better in a different kind of offense, a more inside zone offense. He's showing some stuff, but still, I think he needs 2 more years, but there is some stuff there. The rest of the guys, Jackson, all the rest got to go. Wall is a guy you should probably trade because you can get something for him, maybe. The rest of the times, Julian Hill's not good enough. He's kind of slumped again. Ingold. And then on defense, Chop, I'm not too hot on Chop, but maybe in a better system. Brooks, not bad. Seal is getting old. He won't be here for us when we turn a corner. Grant had a better game. Terrible offense. You got to wait for him to develop. Jordan Phillips, I kind of like as a positional piece. That's it. That's your team going forward. So we got a lot to build. Let's just hope we get a good GM that isn't run by the people at the top, like Ross and his cronies. He's his own man. And then he picks the right coach, they can get the right staff, and we can start flipping this whole thing around. But that's what it's all about now, guys. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Rebuild time. No hopium should get in the way of this reality. I know probably people fixate on Tua. We'll probably get off Tua eventually. But we can't reach for this quarterback. We just got to get the best damn player we can get with our top pick for the next 3 years and hopefully position ourselves for another good quarterback. Because while I think Tua works, it just doesn't work with the injury history. He's not elite, and his money going into a rebuild where we're not going to be ready until 2028. So that's the deal. Curtis saying, be well. Go Fins. Let's get ready for a new thing here. Curtis out. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.